I really did it this time, y'all. Screwed up big time.
What's up, y'all? It's Andy, EPS Garage, and we're ready now to make my cabinet doors. Today, I am going to show you me, an amateur, how to make shaker style doors on the table saw. Now, this perspective is going to be coming from somebody that is not a professional. This is my first time doing this. So you will be able to see my mistakes and everything that I go through on doing this, maybe to help you more when you're ready to build your shaker style doors or your cabinets in a whole. This is like the third video now that I've produced for building these. Next will be the drawers. And on the drawers, I am going to do something different I've never done. I'm going to do box joints. I've never done that. I'm going to build a little jig and do box joints on the doors. Anyway, so I am irritated right now because with this, you know, you got to get your measurements of your opening and do some basic math, which I'll show you. I have a problem. It's not a big problem, but it's irritating me, and I don't know how it happened. So this opening is different than my other cabinet opening. These two cabinets were designed and supposed to be identical. All the side pieces and the bottom pieces were all cut the same length. The back support, they're square. I don't know what happened. My only thinking is somehow I made one different size, but it doesn't make sense. So anyways, not a big problem. It's just a pain in my ass because now I got to make 3 sets of cabinet doors that are all different instead of 2. I thought these 2 would end up being exactly the same, make those doors, and then of course I knew this one was going to be a different. Anyways, it's all a learning experience, and hopefully you're learning from my mistakes. So make sure whenever if you're doing 2 sets of cabinets, make sure you measure it all exactly the same as the first one. And before you're gluing it all and brad nailing it all up, make sure they're all exactly the same. Otherwise, you're going to be making multiple size doors like me. Anyways, let's get to it. Here's my lumber that I'm going to use to make my cabinet doors. This is left over from the tops of the cabinets that I made in the last video. I have some warpage in these, a little bit, and I was going to run these to the planer, get them perfectly square, but you know what? I'm scratching that. Not everybody has a planer, and I want somebody that doesn't have a planer to be able to do this as well, and we're going to see what happens if I don't run them to the planer. I'm thinking that they're going to be 2-inch strips. They'll probably be all right once we put these together. I guess time will tell and we'll see, but not everybody has a planer, and I'm going to try it without, and so you can see what happens if yours are a little bit off. Now, they're not super off. There's probably an 1/8 inch warpage between a couple of these corners. So I think I'm going to be all right, but we'll find out. I got my pieces cut down to the 2-inch width required. Now to cross cut them all to those crazy dimensions for the rails and stiles. Okay, y'all ready for a little bit of math? Nothing crazy, a little bit of calculus and algebra, and I'm totally kidding. I don't even remember how to do that crap. There is a little bit of math, but it's easy, I promise. So we have our dimension. Now we got to cut our stiles and rails. For those of you that are not familiar, on cabinet doors, the stiles are the vertical pieces on the side, and then the rails go across the top. There's a channel that I found a video on, DIY Montreal. I'll link the video in the description, and I'll put her little math equation up here in the corner of the video for you so you can screenshot it. But basically, she gave a really good little example on how to do this. It's pretty simple. Your stiles are going to be the length of whatever your door dimension is. Whatever you deem your door dimension to be, that is going to be your stile. The rail requires a little bit of math. You're going to have to subtract your stiles, which in my case is going to be 2 inches. So 2 and 2, 4 inches total. And then you're going to add your tenons. So 3/8 tenons, you're going to add 3/8 and 3/8. Basically 3/4. Add that to your dimension. And then that'll give you your dimension that you're going to cut for the stile. Now, a couple things they didn't talk about is, how do I know what my door measurement's going to be? It's going to depend on you. For me, I have some soft close hinges, and I need a 1/2 inch overlap around my door. So of course I added that to my measurement. And also in the middle, I am not going to have any board here because I want a large opening when I open these cabinets so I can put large stuff in here. So I went ahead and I calculated I want an 1/8 inch gap here. So I subtracted a 1/16 off each door, and theoretically that should give me 1/8 inch gap, but I guess we'll find out a little later. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. I'm going to get on here and we're going to cut down the wood and the lumber for this. Sorry, but had to cut myself off because I just keep yapping. After doing that quick little math equation, I went ahead and cut my rails to size. Mess up. Nothing super crazy, but whenever I cut these down, these were all 40 inches. After I cut them down to 2 inches, I double checked my math and everything was good. But instead of taking one of these and just cutting it down into rails, I was cutting one rail off each one, which was a big mistake because these were 40 inches long. So that left me only enough to do 2 cabinet doors right now. I'm gonna have to go back to the hardware store and get a piece of lumber to do the doors on the far cabinet. Anyways, not a huge issue, but thought I would let you know about it so maybe you don't make the same mistake. Think about what you're cutting off and is it going to leave you enough for all your styles. It would have if I would have done my original plan, but I just got to cutting and didn't think about it. Anyways, I used my dado, but I didn't need a stack. I only used one blade, and that was perfect for the 1/4 inch panel that I'm using for my cabinet door. Quick test fit and I was good to go. All right, I got what I could get done. Of course, I gotta get more lumber to finish the other rails or styles. God, I cannot get those right. But anyways, I did want to show you, I did make another mistake. I'm gonna go with it, see what happens. But whenever I was on the dado stack, you can see it kind of dropped off. So I used my regular throat plate because the dado stack plate is even wider. So I went with that. However, really, honestly, I should probably make another throat plate when I'm just using one dado blade, or even if I'm using 2 dado blades. That way you have that tighter fit. But this kind of slipped down and made a wider notch. I mean, you don't glue the door in there anyways. I'll make sure this is on the back, but I'll go with it. The rest is fine. See, the rest turned out good. These fit great. So far, so good. Let's go on to make the tenons. I'm going to start by testing on my scrap piece. This is the piece where I use to get my depth and all that, or the grooves. I will be using my fence with this. This is generally fairly pretty safe. Normally on through cuts, like if you're cutting this off, you would never want to be directly up against your fence, but when it's not through cuts, it is deemed fairly safe in the woodworking community, and I've done it many times. However, if you don't feel safe doing it that way, feel free not to do that. And I kept nibbling a little bit off, and then I would test my fit, nibble a little bit off, test my fit until I had it perfect. Then once you get it perfect, then you can just go through and do all your cuts. The one that I messed up's got a bit of a gap, but I'm not too worried about it, to be honest with you. Nothing a little caulk won't fix, right? If I was making these for somebody, obviously I would be starting over or fixing those pieces. But seeing this is my shop cabinet, and don't get me wrong, I want my shop cabinet nice. I really just wanted to see how square these were going to be once they're all clamped up. So this is kind of the dry fit up. Now I needed to figure out how large I was going to cut my inner panel, and basically you know that you've got 3/8 and 3/8 on each side, so you're going to need at least it 3/4 inch larger, and then you want some wiggle room in there, so you know, shave off an 1/8 inch from that, and that should be pretty good measurement. Once I got my measurements, I went ahead and cut my panel pieces. This panel piece is 1/4 inch thick and it's got writing all over it. It was the cheaper ones they had, but I'm painting these, so I really didn't care. Again, real quick, I'm doing a dry fit up just to make sure everything is all right, fits okay, square, all that good stuff. And overall, it was pretty good. I did cut the panel a little short, so just really watch those measurements and double check on that. That's the majority of my mistakes are mismeasuring and not double checking. After the dry fit up, I used some Tight Bond too, and I glued it up and clamped it. And there's the first one. You can see a little bit of a gap. Make sure those go on the bottom. And I can always caulk these too because it is getting painted.
So remember when I said I jacked up one of my pieces and I was gonna go with it? Here's kind of give you an idea how jacked up it is. See how wide? Because it dropped down and cut too much with the dado blade. So what I'm gonna do is I made a little shim. I'm gonna put that little shim in there. I'm gonna leave it hanging out just a hair. And then when I glue this up, squeeze this in there, I'll flush cut that shim and should be good enough for shop cabinets. Now, like I said, I would do this for a customer though.
Well, unclamped them, all looking good. They were pretty square. So far, so good. At least that's what I thought.
Well, Andy, you really did it this time.
Mismeasured my door width. I added an inch instead of half an inch to each door, which makes them way too big. But thing about woodworking, I'm gonna move this way. You can kind of see there, and I'll show it close up, but obviously my doors are way too big, width-wise. Height-wise, they're absolutely perfect because I added an inch to each door, and I added an inch all the way around, which was dumb of me. So it's good height because a half inch on top and a half inch on the bottom. But I thought I was adding an inch to the entire measurement. I'd already divided it in half, so it was really each door, and I wasn't thinking. Man, the wind here is like 70 miles an hour. So I jacked up. Anyways, I'm going to tell y'all how I'm going to overcome this without totally restarting over. Each one of these doors needs 1 inch cut off to bring it to where I need it to be. Well, I got plenty of meat. So I'm going to do a half inch and a half inch on each side. These will be salvageable. That'll leave me plenty. It'll just be a smaller style. Might look weird with the top, but I bet you nobody notices except for, of course, y'all, now that y'all know. The middle doors are effed up. Sorry, there's nothing I can do to them because they're too short. I can't make them wider. However, I can salvage some of this. I'm going to cut out the rails. I'll pull this out, whatever's left, and use it for something else later, and I'll be able to salvage these. I'll just have to recut the groove where this is glued, and I'll be able to salvage some of this, and I'll just have to recut my rail. So I got a plan. And for the last cabinet, basically the same deal as the other one, which kind of works out because now both my end cabinets are going to be symmetrical in some form or way. They'll be the same because I screwed up. And of course, I'll tell people that's on purpose because I'm, designing, and it's new age. But I'm gonna have to cut a half inch off this one as well, or actually, it's going to be a 9/16 on this one. That door's a little bit tighter by a 16th, so just want to be a little bit smaller. That's how I'm going to fix it. Sorry, y'all. I don't know why I'm apologizing to you. You get to see my screw-ups. Make sure you don't do it. Anyways, I want you all to see everything that I do, including my screw-ups. That way you can learn from them. And this was a big one, but I'm going to overcome it. All right, let's do it. I spared y'all watching me fix these doors, but I'll tell you quick in a nutshell. The far cabinet, I basically shaved down the sides a little bit to make them fit. The other far cabinet, same thing, kind of shaved it down just a little bit. They fit now, or they will fit. And then the middle one, I actually had to remake it because it was too short. Can't make it longer. I can always make them smaller. So yeah, in all, it took me about an hour out of my time for the rework because of my stupid mistake. Hopefully you learned from that mistake. But all in all, that's the beauty of woodworking, is so many times you can still adapt and overcome. And I also like the thinking process of it is like, crap, I screwed up. How can I fix these doors? Will have some slight differences to them, and I'm curious to see if anybody ever notices. Of course, y'all watching this will know, but I think people coming over here and seeing the cabinets would never be able to tell. I can't even tell really by looking at them that there's any difference. So that's it. All I'm going to do now is sand these down. I'll probably sand them to 120 grit, and I'm waiting on a Miles Craft little hinge jig. It's kind of like the Craig one, but I wanted to try the Miles Craft. One, it was way more inexpensive, and two, if it works really well, I'll tell you all about it.
Oh, my favorite, sanding. Anyways, I just sanded these down to 120. I'm painting mine. Don't need anything super smooth. Y'all, this Miles Craft jig worked absolutely perfect. No issues whatsoever. Not a big price difference between it and the Craig jig. I believe at the time of editing this, the Miles was like 27 bucks and the Craig was 32. However, you get more with the Miles Craft. It comes with another little piece that allows you to drill all your holes for your screws and your hinges and everything. It worked great. I can't say enough about it. I would highly recommend this. I don't know whether one would last longer than the other or not. Time will tell. I won't use it that often because I'm not a cabinet maker. But yeah, I really did like this. Very easy to use as well. This is that little other piece that came with the jig. Worked out really good. You just put it to your mark, drill your holes, and put your hinges in. As far as the doors, that warpage at the beginning of this had no effect on them whatsoever. They opened and closed, worked really well. I appreciate y'all watching. The next video will be of the drawers, so stay tuned.